Hi everyone, it's Brick Waffle, and I just wanted to give you a brief tour of some of the things we've been working on our server. So you can see that we're just outside the east tower of the Brick Waffle base, and just behind me then is Bricktown. I wanted to talk a little bit about plugins today. I normally don't talk about mods when I'm doing these Let's Plays, other than mentioning that we are using a Bukkit server. We have had MCMMO and Essentials for some time now. Those are pretty common on a lot of servers. One thing that we have just started experimenting with, you may be able to see in the background there, is the Citizens plugin. And what that lets us do is it lets us create NPCs of various types, including villagers. We can give them a name, and we can actually interact with them. We can set this guy up on a little path. He'll walk around to different points in his house. He'll path back to us, and he will look at NPCs or other players when they get close. But if you right-click them by default with a book, it's going to tell you, hey, excuse me, I'm quite busy at the moment. You can configure all the different text that they say. You can also set it up so that they say things when they are nearby, or when they detect a player nearby. You can decide whether those things are overheard by other players or only private whispers. I think if we go in this house, Clayton here, he will tell us, hey, you look like a miner, maybe you could help me. We have a current quest, and we can check that by typing /quest, and you'll see that we have a quest to deliver pork to Butcher Fairham. And we can come over here and see that he's right in here. We just need to get him some raw pork, 16 of those. The nice thing about this is the quests and citizens are designed to work together, and you can see there's a little icon that pops up over their heads when they have a quest. That helps players know which NPCs have quests and which are just there to kind of provide a little ambience. So we're going to head back into the base and see if we have that raw pork. You can configure quests in a number of ways. One of the things you can do is actually configure so that they actually have to kill the pigs rather than just having the pork, or do both. They have to kill pigs and deliver the pork. Of course, that doesn't extend just to animals and meat. You can do all sorts of things. Quests can detect block breaking. It can detect other player kills if you're on a PvP server. It can detect all sorts of things. If you guys would like me to do a tutorial or a little bit deeper video on either citizens or quests, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do that. I haven't really done any how-to configure mods videos before. And that does open up a few other topics. I've never really done anything about how to set up Optifine or configure the Minecraft launcher. There are other videos out there already. So if there's something specific you'd like me to do, that's great. I don't want to just kind of rehash what other people have done, especially if they're already good, and there's plenty of good videos out there. So let's go ahead and head down to our vault room, grab our torch key, put that on the ground, and then put it back, and see if we have enough raw pork to do this quest. So it looks like all the pork we currently have is already cooked. That's not going to do us any good. So we'll go out and look for a couple of pigs. If we decided, though, that we didn't want to do this quest, we can certainly abandon it and do one of the other ones. And I'll show you how to do that, too. It's just quests, quit, and you've quit that quest. So if we decided, we don't want to do that right now, we'll do a different quest. The one thing to note is with the quest plugin, you can only have one active at a time. And we'll just go out and grab a different one. Alright, let's see what Clayton needs us to help with. He needs us to mine 32 stone, so we're going to say yes, we do want that quest, and now we have a new objective. And you can see that this one does not actually require us to return with the stone yet, it just says break 32 stone. So let's go ahead and head up into one of the caves nearby, throw an ender pearl up there because I'm lazy, and then see if we can find some stone. This looks like a reasonable area, so we'll just start digging in here. So you should see, if you're counting, that once we get to 32, we're going to get a little message that says we've hit our objective and we can return to get our reward. And there we go. So it says we've got 32 of 32, return to him in Bricktown to receive our reward, and our new objective is talk to Clayton. So that's pretty handy. I like this plugin a lot. I think there's a lot of potential. You can make repeatable quests, sort of like daily quests, if you're familiar with some of the MMOs that use that terminology. And then if we talk to him, we can see that we get $10 and 1 mining experience. And what that represents is 1 level of mining skill in MCMMO. Alright, so next up we're going to head to the end for the beginning of another project as soon as we deal with this zombie. And hopefully some of you guys will figure out what I'm doing pretty quickly. I saw an idea on one of the Minecraft forums that I thought was pretty neat, and I'm going to go ahead and use that for what we're working on here on this server as well. I haven't talked to anybody else on the server about this, so hopefully when they see this, they'll be interested and they'll want to go check it out and maybe contribute to it as well. So some of you may have noticed that I like building my base, but I've spent a lot more time working on that little village outside of my base than I have on the towers themselves. Inside, they're still pretty Spartan. I just haven't had a need to put a whole lot of things in there. I'm still waiting on 1.8 upgrade to put in some of the farms that I want to build. And because we're running a bucket server, it's going to be at least a month or two after the release of the vanilla Minecraft 1.8 before we are ready to upgrade on this server. We do love our plugins here now, especially with some of the new ones we've been experimenting with, and it would be hard to go back to vanilla, at least for the time being. Alright, so here we are headed towards our end portal. We have another hub that connects over to this stronghold. And right into the end. So what I want to do today is, well, I'm going to turn down the volume because those Endermen can be pretty loud. But once I do that, you'll be able to see, hopefully, pretty quickly what we've got going on. We do have a space down here for a beacon when we were clearing out some end stone earlier. One thing that I thought would be interesting to do, and you may have seen this before, is to clear out some of the end and actually make a little bit of a garden out here. So I thought I'd pick an area that was fairly near the entrance so people can see it, but also fairly near this hub, and that way we can decorate the exit portal. Put some things around there. Now you see that we've cleared out some of this obsidian before. I think Sonata Block used a lot of that for his gold farm. You can see where he's pillared up and brought that back down. And of course this is our normal way out. And why am I being attacked? That's interesting. I didn't think I looked at any of those Endermen. He's not going to last very long if he comes up here again. But we want to basically build a little town right around this area. Maybe he's learned his lesson. So we could start by digging out some of this, but I think what I'm going to start doing is just placing some grass here. And once we have some of this grass in place, we'll be able to use this later on to just place dirt in here and let the grass spread as long as there's sufficient light. Now that is going to be the trick in the end, is getting all the light we need. But we'll have some strategies for dealing with that here shortly. So one thing you can't do in the end very easily, and I guess this is going to change in 1.8 based on the latest snapshot, is put in those daylight sensors. Now you can do one with an inverter, but one of the things that's very nice is in 1.8, you'll be able to right-click a daylight sensor to invert it, which will make a lot of those on-off daytime, nighttime lamps very, very compact. No more inverter redstone to do that. So let's see, what else do we need to do? We need some water in here. And actually, we might dig some of this grass out that I've just placed it and put in a little bit of water. Or maybe we'll just use this. That might be even easier. We do have some existing water. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do with this yet. Looks like we've got some end stone over here. Let's dig a little bit of this out. And we'll use this to kind of fill in underneath some of the area we were just working. So if you've watched my water and lava explained videos, you'll know how this water is spreading. One thing that you should note that I don't think I covered in that is that once water spreads, even though normally when it came down here it would simply just flow down and to the right, if you take out blocks underneath the flow block, it does not change the flow unless you subsequently use those blocks to stop it and make it update again. So we can just do this. And then once we take it back out, it's not going to run over to this side anymore. So this project has a couple of purposes, and yeah, I know I missed one back there. I'm not going to sweat the one block. One of the side effects of doing a project like this is it does give you quite a bit of mining skill in MCMMO, and stone counts for quite a bit. That's helpful. The other thing that we can do is try to figure out exactly what the village layout is going to look like. I want to start with just a little bit of a garden area, so I'm going to start by planting a few birch trees, see if I can get those to grow. And I didn't bring any bone meal, but I can make a little bit of it. See how that helps. Hey, look at that. We got one right off the bat. So we're going to have a few of these birch trees grow in this area. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to put some flowers down, see if we can get those to spread a little bit. Well, not the flowers, but we'll continue to put in some dirt and some grass. We're going to come back and start to fill this whole area in, and I will check back with you in a little bit. Alright, here we are checking back, and you can see I've done quite a bit of work in here. I've got some grass that's mostly growing. We've got some crops put in for some decoration. We've got a couple of fountains. We have some birch trees and some flowers, and we've made a nice little staircase up to our end portal. So this has taken quite a bit of effort, but the next thing we want to do is actually make a path that goes back towards where we come in and down to the end farm. And you may notice from the hotbar that we're going to be replicating a pattern that you've probably seen before on our highway design. So we're going to start with cobblestone on the outside, stone bricks in the middle, and an end stone piece to mark our path out. So this is the end road, of course. And then we're just going to continue to do this and see how far we get. So we need to extend this out a little bit. You can see that we could fill this all in. I'll probably come back and do that at the end. No pun intended. And then for now, we're just going to see about bringing this road down. We also won't have to worry about digging out end stone, so when we want to keep this in the middle, that should be just fine. We'll just have to dig out all around it. Leave that row, and then we'll just keep following the terrain a little bit. We'll have to make one turn at the end because that doesn't quite line up where we come in with where we've got this stuff. But this is harder to move than the entrance. So we are going to bring this over just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to bring some bricks down this way and on this side. And this should look just like the highways we have on the overworld. So this should be very familiar for players. They should say, oh, hey, look, there's a road that goes over here. Real easy to follow. And they know what's going on. I'm not sure about this end stone. It's going to look like we just didn't put in the middle piece. We may want to take that out and replace it with a different block. But I'm going to continue on over towards the end, the portal into the end, and I'll get back to you again in just a moment. Alright, so here we are at the entrance to our end, and you can see I've extended the road all the way down to here, so let's go up and take a look at what we've got accomplished. We now have a nice lit highway that has obsidian, which is the other common block that's in the end. It makes it stand out quite a bit more, and we can see our nice oasis up here. So hopefully this will be a lot nicer for people. They won't have any trouble finding where the end exit is. They can just follow this road right up there. And just in case they ever needed to get some food, I guess they could, but mostly these are just supposed to be decorative here. So now we can take a look around there. There's some room on this side to put some kind of building in if you have suggestions for what sort of thing we want to put in here. Maybe even throw a few of those NPCs and quests in this area. That might be an interesting thing to do. Maybe they would want to have you mine some obsidian or kill some endermen, something like that. Please do leave those suggestions in the comments. Let's jump through here and head back to our bed. Okay, so we're back in Bricktown. That's pretty easy. Oops, and actually that's not the way out. That's the attic. I think I must have last slept in this house when I was building it, but we can see that we are in the mayor's house, and we're going to head right back outside. Okay, so we've come full circle. I wanted to start out in this village and end in this village, and we've got a lot accomplished on our little bit of end building there. Like I said, I am looking forward to your suggestions, your comments, your feedback. If you like this video, please do leave it a like. If you really liked it, subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. See if they'd be interested in watching these videos as well. As always, I've been BrickWaffle. Thank you for watching.